Hey there, this is Walker of WalkerX.com. Today is June 24th, 2009. I'd like to talk about the direction of the stock market. What direction do I believe the stock market's going to continue to go? A lot of people think our recent low on the stock market, which was around 666 on the S&P and around 6,600 on the Dow Jones, a lot of people think that was the bottom, and we are now recovering via green shoots and excitement about that kind of stuff, and all the quote-unquote good news that we've heard on the news. I have to laugh because this good news has just really been a tweak of what's really bad news, so it's very surprising to me. But I want to tell you my opinion on the direction of the stock market, where I think it's going. As of today, we've had a pretty good rally over the last, I guess, 3 months or whatever, since the lows that I just spoke of. I believe this rally has been basically a false rally. I think there's way too much bad news in the world and in the country right now for this to be a real rally. Where did the rally come from? Well, we did have a lot of twists on a lot of news that made people think that things were getting better. As an example, recently I just heard that somebody said unemployment, people are not, there's been a decline in people who are on unemployment insurance, people receiving unemployment insurance. And people throw out things like that's good news. It makes it sound like people losing jobs is slowing down. In reality, that's not what's really going on. They actually extended how long people could be on unemployment. But there's another number on there showing how many people have ran out of the amount of time they're allowed to be on unemployment. And that has reached an all-time high of about close to 50%, about 49%. So when they talk about, oh, less and less people are now on unemployment, making that sound like employment is getting better, it's actually not true. What's happening is a high percentage of people are running out of their unemployment benefits and are no longer eligible. We're currently out, if you look this up on the internet, at about 49% of people who have become ineligible for their unemployment and are now no longer able to do that. Which, of course, is going to lead to further defaults in credit and things like that. There's going to be some credit crunch coming up in the future and stuff like that. But anyway, right now we're talking about the stock market. It is my belief, if you look around you, stop listening to the news, because the news really has a lot of crap on it. There's a lot of more decent news on the internet to be found, in my opinion. The news media pretty much says whatever the government and big money out there wants them to say, because the government doesn't want people to panic and for the stock market just to go crazy, go down like crazy. But it's my opinion. And if you listen to your gut instinct. I know a lot of people, when you talk about feelings or gut instinct, a lot of people like to say, oh, this guy's doing things based on feelings, and you're not going to listen to a person who does something like that. You want to go listen to people who are doing all the technical analysis, this, that, and the other. But something you might want to consider is the stock market is actually very much emotionally motivated. As much as, as a matter of fact, a lot of technical analysis is based on the emotion that causes it to go up and down, based on people's fears and people's irrational exuberance, this, that, and the other. I have a link to a chart on WalkerX.com. It's actually the first post on my website that I posted. There's a chart that I made, but then there's a chart I found that updates itself every day, and I like that chart better. That one's the color of blue. My chart's in white with, it's got more figures on it. You can look at both charts. But click on the one in the blue, It's the very first posting on WalkerX.com, which would put it, I guess, at the very bottom of the website. But on that chart, what it shows is a three-year chart of the Dow Jones during the Great Depression, starting with 1929, when we had that really big drop, the stock market crash. And then over the next 5 or 6 months, the stock market built itself back up. And then over the next 3 years, we had downs, then rallies for 2 to 3 months, and then a next leg down below the last leg, and then a rally, and then down, rally, down, rally, down, rally, down. For 3 years, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and this is what my chart shows, declined, I don't remember the exact number, about 89% from its high, which was in 1929, its high. 3 years later, everybody always talks about the Great Crash, but actually in 3 years a bumping decline happened, which took the Dow Jones to its all-time low. I believe we're in a very similar scenario to that decline of the Great Depression. The reason why I believe that is because I believe we're in a lot more credit debt than we were back then. We did have a similar housing boom before the Great Depression as we have now. Unemployment was similar to what unemployment is now, although people will tell you it's not. But a lot of those figures are, unemployment's been getting worse than they've been predicting, and a lot of the figures don't take into account people whose hours for their jobs have been discounted and stuff like that. So, to make a long story short, the current rally that we are in, the chart that I was telling you about shows the Great Depression chart going down for 3 years. On top of it shows a red line showing our Dow Jones from the high of 14,000 or whatever. Our Great Depression chart going down, bouncing on top of the Great Depression chart. Right now it shows our current rally that happened in the last 3 months since March, that very nice rally that we had, which to me is a head fake, if you want to put it that way. And so, to make long story short, I believe we're going to follow the chart of the Great Depression. There are other Great Bear charts that you can look at and compare to the Great Depression. If you want to go look at some of those, enter the words Mega Bear charts into a search engine, and I think you'll find a chart that compares other, like the internet boom and crash and things like that, and you can compare other charts. But I think we're going to go along a more closer to the Great Depression chart, which means the current rally is basically a head fake, and that we are going to go down to a new low, in my opinion, below the previous low of 666 and 6600 in the Dow. I believe that within the next about 4 months, maybe 5 months at the most, that we will have that new leg down. And I don't know how low, but I'm saying it's going to go below our previous low, which people will find very hard to believe, because actually my video time is running out. I think I've said enough. If you want to listen to some really wise people on this subject, my favorite people to listen to on this would be Hugh Hendry, Robert Precher, and I also like the Mish Report. You can find that on the internet, the Mish Report, M-I-S-H. These people, in my opinion, have the most accurate accounting of what's going on in the market right now. So I'm seeing us with quite more of a decline on our Dow Jones, with rallies in between over the next year at least. So, WalkerX.com, this is Walker, and we'll talk to you next time.